I'm here with Jim, owner of Palm Cottages. So, Jim, let me ask you a few questions. First of all, tell me what kind of care is offered here at Palm Cottages.
Well, we offer both assisted living and memory care. They're both very similar. Memory care has a little more secure environment and additional staffing, but the overall services are pretty much the same.
And now, in regards to the name, Palm Cottages, right there, cottage, the residents don't live in apartments or units, right? They live in actual cottages. Tell me.
Well, they definitely live in a unit like any typical assisted living or memory care community for sure. The difference is probably I describe as most communities are a multi-story corridor model.
Exactly, right.
So we are a one-story community and you are surrounded by 12 units with a center amenity basket of a kitchen, a living room, family room, your own dedicated porch. And I would say that that's sort of the big difference in terms of the configuration. So you don't have the long walking distances. You're always within earshot of somebody. At least we try to make sure that's the case.
Well, I think you touched on something there. The fact that the residents live together, yet they still have their own private space, really does make it so that they interact more than maybe if they were on like a long hallway unit, like you mentioned.
Yeah, it is nice to be able to walk out of your unit and sort of be greeted by someone that you're already familiar with.
Like your family in the living room.
Well, that could be the case for another resident for sure, but at least you don't have to go down the hallway in order to find somebody to talk with. Probably the other unique thing, though, I think, is the actual staffing of the model, of the cottage model. You typically have what we call a universal worker. So a universal worker is responsible for all your loved one's care. So they're familiar with if you want tea or coffee, they're there if they need help. They do the queuing because they know they've got to clean up the room. They got to clean up after. They know if you're going to be early to lunch or late to lunch. So there's a lot of continuity of the care. And I think that is one thing that makes the cottages unique because we try to have a dedicated person staffing each community as best we can. It's not always the case because there's always turnover, there's always transitions, but that is one nice thing. And I also think that the caregivers themselves get a chance to truly get to know each resident.
Absolutely.
And I think that's a very special aspect of Palm Cottages.
Well, I could say I noticed that as I walked around the community, I saw the interaction between the staff and the residents and the relationships that you can tell have been fostered over a period of time based on that proximity like that intimate setting where they get to know them like that is definitely something I can see being a benefit. So my question for you is if somebody or, they're thinking about a loved one, how much time ahead of a move into a community like this should they start thinking about it?
Well, it's interesting. Over the last 15 years that I've been here as the owner and operator, I would say it's changed quite a bit.
Really?
15 years ago, I think that it was more of a process by which you'd make these decisions. But I think with technology that allows people to stay at home, better medications, mechanisms that people can be reminded of medications at home, that has really helped people stay where they really want to be, is at home. And when they do arrive at Palm Cottages, I would say that those decisions are often being made by loved ones, family members, because they recognize the need has got to the point where they really need to have somebody there. And that's what we provide.
So if somebody was considering moving into Palm Cottages, how much time ahead should they start their research? Come for a tour, maybe?
Obviously, seeing the place and seeing what's different about it is essential.
Right.
Okay. I think all the other competitors, many of them are very good. All of them are very good, I think. But we are very different than most of them in the cottage model design. So it's nice to see it, but honestly, we could move you in this afternoon if you would like.
Well, I had lunch today on site here today, and based on the delicious meal I had, I might have to consider it back.
I think the meals, you mentioned the meals. I think that is a great aspect of what's different about Palm Cottages. You're not going down to a cafeteria style meal, which isn't bad at all. It's a great way to deliver meals, but to have a kitchen in the cottage where you've got a cook, a chef preparing the meal, serving the residents, cleaning up afterwards, it does feel very home-like.
It absolutely felt like that. And I was one of the things that the resident that I was seated next to, that she and I spoke about, is how it feels like you're coming downstairs for dinner in your home with your family.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. That's what we try for. Another thing I'd like to mention about Palm Cottages is that even though it is a very small home-like environment, which is very attractive to most people,
Sure.
we have the scale to have a full complement of professional caregivers and nurses. And I think that is what makes us very different from like a board and care option, which is also a great option for people to consider. But to have nursing 24/7, and we can't guarantee that all the time, but we try to have a full complement of qualified nursing staff here at all times. And we have the ability to, with 112 beds and 96 units, we can afford to actually have that on site at all times.
So if somebody's needs change after they've moved in, there's hope that they could stay and those needs could just be accommodated for.
Definitely. We will try to migrate with the residents' acuity needs, and as their circumstances change, we're going to be there to try to make sure that we can accommodate and address those.
So Jim, you've been owner and operator here at Palm Cottages for over 15 years now. So any highlights that you might share that you've experienced throughout that tenure?
Well, I would say the hurricanes are always exciting.
I imagine so.
I actually would like to point out some things that, I think it was in 2017, or it was Irma, one of them. But we were without power here for like 48 hours. And in that moment, or those hours, I realized how fast things can go downhill.
Oh, sure.
I'm just a laundry that needs to be done. It was it was an awakening moment. And so we actually immediately went out and acquired 350 kilowatt generators, more information than you need to know. But we are 100% backup generated. It's also powered not by a gas tank in the ground that runs out in 96 hours. It's connected to the utility system here. So we should have unlimited natural gas to power and provide all the power needs of the community, which is very important. We also have hurricane windows. We also have concrete block walls. We're also 21 feet above sea level here, so there's no storm surge that's going to take us out. And probably the last important thing is, I think it was like 3 years ago, we put on a brand new roof. So this is a high velocity wind roof. It can handle, I think, 130 or 140 mile an hour winds. The roof that we have on Palm Cottages, we just put it on, but it is a first class roof. And I will tell you, that's one of the biggest concerns, is having your roof blow off, because if you have water coming down through the roof, it's not a good day.
Right.
So underneath the roof, it's a beautiful roof, but underneath it is an underlayment, and it is in essence the roof. So I am not concerned about any water leaking other than wind-driven rain probably, but it's a very strong, solid roof. Should last us another couple of decades. And I think overall, I'd rather could be in this community in a hurricane than almost anywhere else.
I was just going to say, when the next storm comes around, I'm going to be giving you a call, asking for an extra bed.
Yeah. We invite you in to tour our community. We'll see you soon.